Broke Ride Media.
You're now listening to The Straight Shooter Show with your host, The Straight Shooter.
All right, welcome to The Straight Shooter Show. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend with us. Normally for my opening monologue, I just kind of talk about something for a few minutes, and I'm going to do that today, but for reference, there's a few videos that I want to play for you. So I'm going to start with one video, and it's a TikTok video of a girl that I follow on TikTok. I think she's great, so I'm not slamming her with this but I disagree to a degree with the video, and she got so much support on this video that I just kind of wanted to give it a flip side, a different viewpoint on this particular issue. So audio only, you'll be able to hear what she's saying. YouTube followers, we're going to play the video for you right now, and then I'll talk about it. Here we go.
Swear to God, nothing gets on my fucking nerves more than when women talk about how they're scared of men, scared of being raped, kidnapped, or murdered, because that shit happens, okay? And then boys are like, but not all men are no shit, Kyle! We obviously know not all men are like that, but it's enough! There's enough men acting like creeps that it scares all women, and when you don't defend women, they just think that you're a part of the creeps. So if you don't want that to happen, you're going to have to start calling out dudes for their shitty behavior, because I promise you, Kyle, I promise you that no girl is going to want a bitch who says, not all men, they want somebody who's going to fucking stand up for them.
Okay, so, look, I will defend women to the ends of the earth that are feeling threatened or have had bad experiences with men. I'm in no way am I trying to minimize a woman's feelings if she has feelings, because she's had bad experiences. Where I have a problem is the way she is saying this is that, okay, well, if you don't jump on board and say that a woman's fear of all men, because that shit happens, so that's a valid to be afraid of all men because that shit happens. Well, then you might be one of those men. So it's part of that cancel culture in my mind to say that, because I can give you some comparisons here that, I know a lot of guys that have been raked over the coals from divorces where they're paying out a couple of grand a month in child support or alimony. And so are they supposed to, have this fear of women and not want anything and be anti-woman? And if you disagree with them because they are anti-woman, if they are, then you're the problem. You must be one of those bitches that want to take the man's money. No, that doesn't make sense to me. And so for her to say, well, if you don't get on board and say that shit happens enough that you must be one of those people, if you're not going to get on board with me, that we should all be afraid of all men. Screw that. Come on. You're better than that. So, and I'm going to tag her so she knows that I'm talking about her on my podcast, or send her a message. I love you, but I disagree with this video so much that I had to talk about it on my podcast. 60 seconds wasn't going to be enough on TikTok. This led me into another video that I wanted to talk about from TikTok. So we're going to play it for you now, audio only. You'll be able to hear what she says.
Oh, it is story time. Okay, so when I was 10, my family and I moved to a new town, and the street we moved onto was a dead-end street with storage units at the end. One day I'm ripping on my scooter. I get to the bottom of the street. I need to take a breather. So while I'm doing so, a man who looks to be about in his mid-50s approaches me. And he starts talking to me, which I think is very weird because I'm 10. He then points to a random squirrel and tells me that he has really cute photos of it in his office that I should see. And he starts ushering me into the storage units. He's like, yeah, come into my office and see this photo that I have of a squirrel. I would bet everything in my bank account that there were no photos of a squirrel in his office, and if by chance there were, I highly doubt he wanted me to go in there, look at a photo, and then leave, and that's it. And I oftentimes think about what would have happened had I gone in there with him instead of booking it like I did. But yeah, it's so easy being a girl.
So when I was 6 years old, I got lost from my parents at the fair, and I ended up at this booth with these 3 women that were selling different kinds of popcorn, and ultimately my parents never found me, at that booth, so they called somebody that ran the fair, like a lost and found office, and their guy came to pick me up and take me to kind of the lost and found area, and he's carrying me to the lost and found area when this man comes up and he's like, "Oh, you have my son." And the guy looked at me and was like, "Is this your dad?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, don't tell him that. Yeah, that's my son." I'm like, "No, that's not my dad." So, the guy, he ended up taking off, and the guy that was carrying me took me on to Lost and Found, where my parents ended up finding me. It's so hard to be a boy. This is not a gender thing. There are assholes out there. There are some sick people out there, and it's not just because of a girl or because you're a boy. It's just that they're sickos. And the reason I played her video, she was responding to somebody who made the comment, "It's so easy to be a girl," or "It must be easy to be a girl." And after I watched her video and I thought, well, this isn't really a girl issue, I dug into her videos, and I ended up following her too. She does have some pretty good content, but I went into some of her videos, and I'm going to play for you a video that she made just like 5 videos after that one, that shows you the contradiction in how people portray themselves in that 60 seconds on the TikTok. There's a lot of people that just aren't that consistent. At any rate, I'm going to play that video for you, and we'll talk about that.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Oh, I have a story. So when I was 22, I randomly moved to LA with no plan, no clue where I was going to live, nothing. I get down there and I ask one of my girlfriends if she wants to hang out. So while we're hanging out, we get to chatting, and she goes, "Hey, why don't you just live with me in the model house for the summer?" And I didn't know what that was at the time, but all it is a mansion in the hills where models get to live there rent-free, and in exchange, they just have to go to clubs twice a week and look cute. That's it. They Uber you there, you look cute, you stand around usually, and then you go home. And I got to live there for an entire summer because she sent her agent photos of me and my height, and I just got to live there. It was so much fun. I got to meet Ed Westwick from Gossip Girl, Chuck Bass. Oh, I have so many stories from that house.
So I think that the other person that had commented, "It's so easy to be a girl," this is the type of thing that they were referencing that you talked about a few videos later. It is. I mean, I don't know of any men that are going to get to live in a mansion for free through the summer, and just their requirement is to go to the club and 2 nights a week and look good. There's just such a double standard in society, between what men believe, women get away with, and what women believe that men get away with. And I'm not saying that women don't get hosed and men get hosed, because it happens to everybody. But when you start categorizing people into these little boxes of, well, you're a man, so you're this way. You're a woman, so you're this way. It is just so unfair. I mean, that goes into religion, into sexuality, into race, nationality. It goes into everything. And I just seeing way, way, way too much on social media, where so many different groups are categorizing all the other groups and saying that's the way they are, and they're getting tons of support for that categorization. And so I just wanted to bring light to it, that not all men are the same, not all women are the same, not all, Mexicans, blacks, Asians, whites, they're not all the same. So I'm asking you, if you're posting stuff on social media, to stop categorizing everybody. If you want to give, like I did a week or two ago, how a majority of men feel or a majority of women feel this way, and this is why, great, do that. But stop putting everybody in a box that just because they're from one, either nationality or race or gender.
Yeah, why are we creating divide for no reason?
Exactly.
Like, it is hard being a female sometimes. I recognize that because I go run at the park in the morning and a woman's there running or walking when I get there, and then she leaves when I get there because she's scared.
Right.
Something happened to her to make her feel that way. I'm not saying that she shouldn't leave. I wanna go up and tell her that, hey, lady, you're safer with me here than if I wasn't here.
Right.
Like I would beat someone's ass if they did something to you. But if I go up and do that, then I'm creepy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, it's hard, equally hard to be a guy, but in different ways than it is for a female. So I just think we should stop creating divide, and she straight up contradicted herself in that video. So I don't get it. Why do we have to do this, man? If I see a woman being hurt, I'm going to stop it. And then if a woman sees a man being hurt in some way, you should stick up for him too. We should all work together and stop freaking creating divide for no reason.
Exactly.
Having this big dick contest, which gender's harder to be. That's ridiculous.
I think out of all of that, really the hardest one for me, and again, I've followed only JS for a long time, and she follows me back. And she's a very, very intelligent woman. She's a lesbian. Great, no issue. She's just fresh out of college. She's got, I don't know how many millions of followers. She's very smart and very entertaining. She's very energetic. She's got a YouTube. She's got all kinds of stuff going on for her. So I'm not knocking her as a person, but I am entitled as a, individual to have a disagreement with that video that she put out with love. I love you. I don't agree with you.
Well, maybe we can get her on to talk about it sometime if she happens to see this.
I would love to have her on. I'm pretty sure she has her own podcast. I'd come on your podcast too if you wanted me to.
Rake them over the coals if you have to. We don't care. But, all right. Is that all the videos for today? Yeah,
that's all the videos. Well, there was one more I wanted to play for everybody that I'm going to play it. Let me play this video. And then we're going to move on to whatever we're doing.
Did you send that one to me?
I did send it to you. This last one. This guy's great. Just found him this morning. Doesn't really go, tie in exactly to what we're talking, but it does indirectly that, somebody makes a video like any one of those women, they're going to get backlash from somebody, and then people are going to get in the comments and they're going to start all this back and forth. So this guy had wrote this song that I thought was just perfect for that.
The best way to get your point across is to argue on the internet. It's definitely not a giant waste of time when you argue on the internet. Everybody always has such an open mind and considers all the arguments from both sides when you argue on the internet.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Let me get my glasses on because I want to.
Nope. Old timer's got to get his glasses on.
Give the guy a little plug here.
Yeah. When's the last time you cleaned your glasses, by the way?
Last night.
Really?
Yeah. Leave me alone.
All right.
Waylon A. Padigan.
Waylon A. Padigan with Argue on the Internet.
Yeah. I probably ought to give those other two people's names too, just so that people, if they want to go check them out themselves, they can.
Yeah.
So that one girl is I Am Bentley. I Am Bentlee. And then, of course, we have Only Jayus. ONLYJAYUS.
Okay. Hey, I think we should probably go straight to the phone calls, and we'll do read the emails next week because we've got a couple big phone calls on today. What do you think about that?
Okay.
We got Zach M coming on first.
Yep.
We're gonna have an update with him, and then we have a big surprise. We have Michelle from last week's show, current boyfriend, coming on, and I have a feeling that's going to be a good one. So Yeah, here we go. Zach M.
Hello.
Zach M, what's up, buddy?
Not so much. How are you doing?
Not too bad, man. Just sitting here with the straight shooter. We wanted to check up with you, see how you're doing, dude.
Doing pretty good. I spent just under 5 weeks, on the road. I had a few setbacks with the trainer and getting off the truck and stuff.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, Zach.
Bit.
Zach, let me interrupt you for a second because there may be people listening to this that didn't catch episode 3. So for the listeners real quick, Zach M was on episode 3. He was a little lost on direction. He didn't really know what he really wanted to do. But he was in, kind of a bad situation with some family in his area. He'd kind of bounced back and forth between Alabama and Ohio. I had given him he already had a CDL, but he wasn't working. I suggested to him that he go to work. I would help him find a job as a OTR driver, live in his truck for a couple of years, save all of his money, and then decide what city he wanted to settle in. And so that he would have enough money after a couple of years, he could buy a house, maybe get a local driving job somewhere, and the world would be open to him. So that is where this is coming from. This is an update from Zach M. And since I talked to him on it was episode 3, wasn't it?
I actually don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't even know what episode we're recording right now. This
is 10. We're on 10. I'm pretty sure it was episode 3 that we talked to.
Zach, do you remember?
I want to say it was episode 3, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah, so we encourage everybody to go back and listen to it. Zach's story is pretty phenomenal, and we're just looking forward to an update. Well, we've been dying to get you on, man.
Well, I talk to Zach all the time, every week, but the listeners that have been listening all along, they don't know.
I've purposely not asked you about him just so I can know now, because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the show. I think that's a little pretentious, but I'm a fan of our show. So,
okay. So now that everybody's caught up, Zach, go ahead and tell us what you. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I just needed to get that out for everybody.
He's good at that.
No, that's good. I should have kind of explained a little bit of that in the beginning, but yeah. So after talking to him and everything, I was looking at a couple different companies. Some were contracts, some were not contracts, and the company I chose, they told me 3 to 5 days with a trainer, and then I wound up being with a trainer for about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, which no big deal. It's just extra training, getting used to everything, trying to learn their systems. But that was going good, and then they gave me my own truck, and some stuff was wrong with that. Well, then I got a different truck, and it's got 35 miles, so that kind of worked out in my favor. And now, Monday morning I started rolling. They've already got me on a load. It's about 600 miles, so they've already got me set up to start rolling. And then my truck, it's not going to have no problems, so I should be able to stay rolling. And they said that the lanes that they're running me in, I can go take a 34 or wherever I want. And with this account, or this company, there's so many different accounts. If I get, for say, bored of one, I can transfer to another division, stuff like that. But overall, I mean, it's going pretty good. Just kind of now that I'm on my own, getting the hang of everything, and learning how to run my clock and make the most of my money and time.
Right.
Man, I can already tell. I can hear the confidence in your voice.
Yes,
it's a lot different. I can hear that you're more confident and you're more sound. Where's your mindset at now with your family situation and everything? You just seem like you're trucking right along.
Yeah, like Jason said, I talked to him. Pretty much. Well, I mean, I talked to a couple of different people, through the week, and I've just learned to try and not pay it no mind and just focus on myself and let all the negativity and stuff go to the wayside and just do my own thing. And, when you have a goal in mind and you just focus on it, just make it work however you have to do it.
Right.
If that requires you make a new friends, make new friends then. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty good now. Str8shooter, he gives me the confidence and everything. And, he pushes me to do better and, want to save up money and, buy a house and, be the first to do a lot of things like that.
Well, Zach, I just can't tell you how proud I am of you that, we had that one conversation on the podcast, then we talked on the phone afterwards, and you just took the bull by the horns and you just started rolling with it. And you have worked really hard, over the last several weeks to get to where you're at right now. And right now is really kind of just the beginning. Like you said, you're going to be on your first, load Monday, which I know it's not really your first load, but it's, you're officially got your truck, yours, a good new truck. You're going to be rolling. And now is kind of the beginning. You can start working on the money situation. And I just couldn't tell. I am so proud of you that you've accomplished everything you have in such a short amount of time. So just keep rolling,
yes,
brother.
Sir, and I really appreciate that. After we got off the phone, in that first conversation we had, it kind of woke me up inside a little bit. I even went out in the garage and built a snake hutch type deal thing for a friend, because she needed one. And it just kind of got me out of the bed and quit laying around. Really, gave me some drive or direction. I don't really know the right word to try and get out of the slump.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, brother.
And, that's the update on me so far.
Well, we are going to have you back on, every 2 or 3 weeks to, just have a short conversation like this for the listeners so that they can keep track of what's going on with you and what you're doing and, how the plan's all coming together and, make sure that we keep our mind focused on the goal and the task at hand and just keep everybody updated. And I appreciate you, taking the time to talk with us more and let everybody see and hear what you're doing.
Yes, sir. And if I could say anything to anyone going through a situation is just reach out, reach out. Don't worry about what anybody says. Just reach out because you'll find that one person out of, a million that actually does care.
Right. I agree.
So I'll always reach out to somebody.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. But the next time we talk to you, you better be talking to a girlfriend next, okay? Or at least that you have reached out. Yeah.
No, don't give it. Let me deal with the advice for him. He doesn't need a woman in his life right now.
Why not?
He's trying to focus on himself. He's working toward a goal. We don't need a woman in his life right now.
He never lets me give people advice, and I feel like I give really good advice.
The girlfriend will come down the line. We're not ready. We're not ready for that right now.
If you see a girl in Walmart with a nice dump truck, you go up and talk to her. You hear me?
Zachary? God dang it.
Yes, sir.
All right, listen to Jason. All right, he's the guy. All right, Zach. Hey, thanks for calling, buddy, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
All right, yes, sir.
All right, dude.
Talk to y'all later.
All right, bye.
All right, bye, Zach.
Right, bye.
That was good to hear from him, man. I could tell his confidence was just booming, man. Like he has a purpose and a drive and a direction he can go now, and you gave him something to shoot for, and then it's like, hey, Zach, go get it, and then he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get all the advice in the world, but if you don't take it,
absolutely,
it won't work. No advice will work if you're not willing to step out of your shell and do it. And it took a lot of bravery for him to do that.
I agree, 100%. I'm really proud of him.
Exactly what you said, and go.
There has been a few times that he's called me. Like you said, he was only supposed to be with a trainer for like 3 to 5 days, and ended up being 3 weeks. So there was a few times that he did call me, and he was
frustrated.
A little frustrated, and a little down. And I'm like, dude, look. I know there's setbacks no matter what you do. If you have a goal that you're going for, there's going to be setbacks no matter what. So you just have to persevere through those. And remember, you only got, a few more days with the trainer. You only got, you're going to have your own truck before you know it, and this will be behind you. So while it's frustrating now, keep your mind, keep your mind on that goal. So,
well,
real proud of him.
He's doing good. Okay, now we've got Pierre coming on. Pierre is Michelle from last week's show. He's the current boyfriend.
Correct.
He has a lot of things he wants to say. I'm sure he's going to disagree with Jason and I.
Primarily
point.
you.
Well, yeah, I said a lot of shit that he's probably going to want to talk to me about. So, I'm probably going to get my butt chewed, but that's okay. We'll give it right back. We'll have a good conversation because Jason and I believe that you shouldn't be friends with your ex, and Pierre disagrees. And so we're going to hear from him.
Well, Michelle disagrees. We don't really know if Pierre disagrees or not.
Yeah, I guess we don't. Well, we're fixing to find out. All right.
And again, we do think that you should be friendly or cordial with your ex. You just shouldn't be buddies with your ex, especially if you're in a new relationship. Primarily if you're in another relationship.
All right, here's Pierre.
Hello.
Pierre, it's Zach from the Str8shooter Show. What's up, dude?
Hi, Mr. Zach. I am good today.
Good. We're doing good. I'm here with the Str8shooter, and we're just going to kick right into this thing and start the conversation with you. I described to the listeners that Jason and I believe that you shouldn't be friends with an ex, and Michelle disagreed and called in. We had the long conversation, and you said you would listen to that, and you wanted to talk to the Str8shooter about her response and the podcast from last episode.
Absolutely.
So first of all, this is Str8shooter. First of all, I love the way you answer the phone. Hello. I love that's great. Is that how you always answer the phone? Do you always give the hello?
It varies, but I'm always very positive.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a few questions, and then you will be free to say whatever in response to me, and then after I ask you a few questions, if you got certain topics or points you want to make, you feel free, and we'll just have a back and forth from that point, if that's okay with you,
Sounds
Pierre.
Good.
So
Wonderful.
My initial question is, while I know that Michelle has told me, her and her ex-husband, they do not maintain they don't hang out with each other. They don't go out to dinner with each other. They, don't go to the comedy club or the concerts together because she's in a relationship with you. And
correct.
That's what I preach. I'm like, look, if neither one of them are in a relationship, the exes, and they want to hang out together, great, hang out together. But as soon as one of them enters into a relationship with somebody else, like she has with you, then that friendship is no more. It can't be that you're hanging out with your ex-husband or ex-wife if they're in a relationship. And so while she kind of wanted to argue the point that, yeah, you can still be friends, not really. She's not even doing it. She's not hanging out with her ex-husband without you. But my question to you is, how would you feel? Would you be okay if she said, Pierre, I'm going to go to dinner with, the ex-husband? Would you be okay with that?
Honestly, I'm very comfortable with that. She's given me her word that she is not, how do I say? Basically, I know what her relationship is with her ex, and he has always been her rock.
Yeah.
Her. And now that we have established a serious relationship, I am her new rock. Jeff is now the backup.
Okay. Okay, but why would you not wonder why she needed to go have dinner? Why would you not feel like, why aren't you having dinner with me?
It would be for a reason. They would need to talk about their daughters or, a scenario like that. It would be for a reason, not just to go have a personal conversation. No, I don't think she would do that.
And if you are the new rock, any reason why you couldn't be there? You're involved in the daughter's life, right?
Am I involved in her daughter's life?
Correct.
Not so much.
Really?
Yeah. Her daughter is very, what's the word for that, hon? Yeah, I guess independent might be the word. She's not on board with me 100% yet. She doesn't like hugs. Well, I'm a very huggy person.
Yeah.
And I just keep it upbeat with when she does come over, and keep myself semi-invisible.
How long have you and Michelle been together?
If she wants to talk to me, I'll let her daughter come to me.
Right. How long have you and Michelle been together?
It'll be 2 years in March.
And y'all live together?
Yes.
You do? Okay. I had another question on this. You got one, Zach?
No, I don't particularly have a question, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what if me and you are so against it because maybe we're insecure or something like that? Because this guy sounds, I don't mean to call you this guy, but Pierre sounds like he's like super comfortable. He's like in touch with his emotions, like, and he genuinely, I mean, they've been together.
You are dead on with that.
I mean, I'm flipping right now, right? I'm flipping right now because of what he sounds comfortable. You see what I'm saying? And like, if there's no reason for him not to be comfortable, then she's probably not giving anything. But Pierre, I got to say, man, I know you listened to the last show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
correct.
I was gathering from her that there are still some emotions attached to her with him. And that would make me uncomfortable from hearing what she said last show. That would make me feel uncomfortable.
There should be an attachment there because they have daughters together and they had a 10-year relationship.
Nothing she said last week bothered you at all?
No, not at all.
Man. And
we have a very extremely open relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, where we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know what you meant. Michelle wanted to make sure that was clear. Make sure they understand.
I think I heard Michelle in the back room said, not like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Not like go sleep with Megan Fox if she comes around open, but like we talk. So,
while we're on this topic, I will admit it was uncomfortable in the very first couple of weeks of our relationship. We had our first date in a neutral place on Wednesday. She came over Friday. I made dinner. And then that Saturday, the next day, she went out with Jeff to an event. Her ex-husband, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then a week later, she went to another event with another male friend. And I was just like, tilting my head with a question mark on my face and just like, okay. And I just went with the flow. I can't control anyone, and I kind of let people know that you can't control anyone. If they're going to leave, they're going to leave. You can't force them to stay.
No, you're right.
So they either love you unconditionally and they want to be with you, or it's wishy-washy. And if you love something, set it free. It comes back to you. It's yours. If it doesn't, it was never meant to be.
Man,
I understand that. And I get it. Where I'm coming from, when I say that exes shouldn't be hanging out with each other, primarily if they're in a new relationship, is because, I know that me personally, I'm not going to go hang out with an ex. If I have a girlfriend, if I have a new girlfriend and my ex wants to hang out, I would never do that because I don't want to give my current girlfriend any cause for concern. And so I would expect that same respect, back from my girlfriend, that she's not going to give me any cause for concern. Now, I hear what you're saying. Look, they got a kid together.
If she's uncomfortable with it or not secure enough, then you have to go with it.
Let me ask you,
yes.
I want to ask you that question, Jason. And let's talk about it, me and you, real quick, because this guy, I believe him. I believe that he's not worried at all that Michelle's going anywhere. They've been together for 2 years.
Okay.
And it's been like this for 2 years. That's a long time.
Okay.
2 years is a long time, right? And he's had all this time to get to know her. He said he was uncomfortable in the beginning because there are a lot of other women that would probably have malintentions with what Michelle was doing in the beginning.
Right.
And so over a period of time, it sounds like he's gotten to know her. He trusts her. He listened to last week's episode, which would have made me and you feel genuinely uncomfortable.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Is there something wrong with me and you, or is there something wrong with him? What do you think?
I don't know that there's anything wrong with me and you or him.
Yeah.
I have said that there are, a very small percentage of, people, situations where it can work, I just think that percentage, we found, the needle in the haystack with, I believe, with this trio, this, not saying the percentage of people that this is okay is very small.
Yeah.
I challenge you to find, 10 more couples, that feel the same way that he feels.
Where
and
he's
that,
genuinely.
that he's like, I don't care. If they need to go to dinner. Because to me, if my girlfriend needs to talk to her ex-husband about the kids, why do you need to go to dinner to talk about that? Call that dude up, have a conversation, have him come to the house. I'll grill some burger. Why do you need to go have alone time with your ex to talk about the kids? That would not make sense to me.
But so Pierre even said,
I can explain to you why.
Okay, go ahead.
It's because he is uncomfortable with me.
Okay. And what's wrong with the phone call? Why not just have a phone call?
I get you on that. But I'm totally comfortable with however she wants to do it.
Okay.
Why is he uncomfortable with you?
He's just more of a solitude person.
Yeah, that's what Michelle said. He's kind of introverted, which that's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't think that there's any part of that is just that, he still loves Michelle and he's jealous and he doesn't want to see her with somebody else?
I don't think he is that kind of love for her, or in love with her. No. But he cares about her highly.
Yeah. It sounds like they both do, to be completely honest with you. That sounds like they both still care with each other. You've acknowledged that there is some emotion still tied to it and you're okay with that. So everything you heard on the phone from Michelle last week, you've probably heard before then.
I've told Michelle and I've told people that know her ex that if something happens to me, I feel she should go back to Jeff because he is her other rock.
My goodness, man.
That's mind-blowing.
That is mature, though. It really is. That makes me think that, I
like that word, mature.
Yeah, it's mature. It really is. It's mature, man. It's just kind of like you don't want to think about your wife moving on if something were to happen to you, but you want her to be happy, right? But you don't want to think that there's a life to where she could be happy without you, but there probably is, Yeah. You've got to think about reality at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the reality is what Pierre's saying is you cannot change reality. Reality is Michelle and Jeff divorced. They've worked out their differences, but aren't married anymore. And they're still extremely close. And they're effectively raising a kid together. While there's still probably some emotions there, Michelle's acknowledged that she would probably hurt him again in the same way she did before, but isn't hurting Pierre in that same way. And so they're doing it because it just works. And they're acknowledging reality, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it now.
Yeah. I made a side note when I was listening to your program.
Okay.
And I would say amongst the other reasons that they separated is they never established a friendship before they got married. Without that friendship, friendship before you marry, you're just a married couple living day to day.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
I agree.
And now they have that friendship. They could possibly make something of it if something happened to me.
Man, that is so mature. That's crazy. Like I was talking to Jason before this, the straight shooter. I was talking to Jason before this, and I was like, just completely did not in utter belief. You can ask Jason. I was like, there's no way he doesn't feel comfortable. But from hearing you, I believe you. I believe that you're not uncomfortable at all with this situation. Do you believe him?
I believe that he's not uncomfortable with it. I agree that, even the other day I was talking to Zach and I was like, he's going to come on there and say that he's okay with it, but he's not. But I believe you. I believe you're okay with it.
I believe it.
I've been divorced for 20 years, and I've had a lot of crappy relationships since. And when Michelle came along, it was just completely different, eye-opening, relaxed. I don't know what other words to use. It was just unbelievably different. And I am just extremely ecstatic with, happy with her and the relationship that we have. 100% everything.
Let me ask you this. This is a what if question because it apparently, it's not the situation for you, but what if her ex-husband, you believed that he had intentions? What if you believed that he was, making an effort, or that you believed he, was making efforts to sway her back to him? Would you still be like, well, I trust her, even if he is trying to do that? I'm okay because
I would 100% trust her.
Yeah, but would you be okay? Would you be comfortable with them still spending time together?
That was if she decided that's what she wanted and fell for it. I can't hold her here.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, listen,
you're
right? Even if you're in a relationship,
different than someone cheating on their spouse.
Yeah.
No matter what the relationship is, but it's
exactly,
you either cheat and expect to lose your relationship or you don't.
But how many people have affairs that afterward are like, I am not that person. I would have, I can't believe I would never have imagined myself having an affair, but that opportunity was there. They had an argument with their spouse that, maybe they had a few months of, things weren't going great. The opportunity was there with the other person. They have an affair, and then they turn around and say, holy shit, I just really messed up. And so maybe that's part of where I'm coming from, is limiting opportunity.
Hear me out. I think it would be more likely for Michelle to cheat on Pierre with someone that she doesn't know than she would with Jeff, because the opportunity has probably already presented itself many times and it hasn't happened.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they've found a way not to make that happen. You see what I'm saying? So she's probably more likely to cheat on him, and which I'm not saying that's likely, but I'm saying it would be more likely for her to cheat on with someone she doesn't know. We all run the same risk, man. Like my wife right now could go cheat on me with the forklift driver at work. My wife told me that there's a forklift driver flirting with her at work, right? She could cheat on me. I can't stop that, if something happened. All I can do is love her as much as I can, and hopefully she doesn't. Humans are humans. They're going to mess up sometimes. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't control actions. What am I supposed to do? Not let her go to work now?
Right. I hear you.
I mean,
I had a couple of women hitting on me in the beginning of our relationship, and I just had to put an end to it. Michelle just wouldn't have for it.
Pierre,
and I wouldn't have had anything to do with it, but,
Man. Yeah, I don't know.
Pierre's a player.
I bet he's good. Pierre, you got to name Pierre. I bet he's from French. I bet he does his hair like it kind of does that wavy thing up there on top. Am I describing you right?
I don't know. Am I?
Maybe.
I got it. I bet he does the wavy thing on top.
All I can tell you is I look more Italian than French. So
I bet every time he leaves the house, he's wearing a button-up shirt.
No.
Get real. No.
I bet he's one of those fancy.
I said those are his photos.
Yeah.
That I wasn't going to put up with.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't help it that I'm desirable.
That is the kind of thing that I would say.
Yeah, it's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, people give me compliments and I'm like, yeah, I know I'm the shit. Thanks.
Okay, so I think at the end of this conversation, I think I've changed my mind. I think if you're insecure, it's probably not to say that your significant other isn't giving you a reason to be insecure, but I think if your significant other isn't giving you a reason to be insecure and there's exes and that's what they do is hang out, You see what I'm saying? Like, Michelle could leave him at any time and go back with him. Jeff's single. You see what I'm saying? And she doesn't for 2 years. I've changed my mind.
Okay, before I give where I stand on it, I want to ask one more question because this is something that I've dealt with on my TikTok videos. A question had come in from somebody. I want to know what your stance would be if Michelle's ex-husband were disrespectful to you, but she still maintained a friendship with her ex-husband, and like to the point that you can even be around.
I think we'd have to ask the question first, what would Michelle do? Because then Pierre's not going to be able to respond unless, what would Michelle do if Jeff was respectful to Pierre?
Michelle, if Jeff were disrespectful to Pierre, would you maintain that friendship with Jeff, or would you cut Jeff off because he's being disrespectful to your boyfriend?
Oh, well, I would probably cut him off or put him in his place.
She would put him in his place verbally.
But he would, I know Jeff, that he would never,
I know.
He would never be.
I know. I know. From the way you described him last week, I know. But I've had people that, on my TikToks that they're like, okay, well, my girlfriend's ex or my girlfriend's friend tried to kiss her and she rejected him, but she still maintains that friendship with him. And I don't like it that she's friends with him after he tried to kiss her. Well, I make the statement that, well, look, he disrespected your relationship. He doesn't value your relationship. He doesn't respect you. So for her to maintain that friendship with somebody who doesn't respect you or your relationship, she's showing you she doesn't really respect you either. So if it were, you should probably get out of that. So that's why I'm going over all these different scenarios.
Listen to me, hear me out. You're having to create a whole lot of what if scenarios.
I know.
Because you don't want to change your mind.
I've already said that from the very beginning, there is a minute number of people that it can work. I've always said that. I've never said it's 100%. I just think as a general rule, it's not a good idea for the ex to be friends enough that they're going to eat or hanging out with it or discussing their personal life. Like, I don't think Michelle should be discussing her personal life with Pierre. She should not be discussing that with Jeff. That's really not Jeff's business. Now, whether she does or not, I don't know. But she shouldn't be if she is.
It sounds like they've established some boundaries and they're all okay with what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And if everybody's okay, you see what I'm saying?
But as a general rule.
Yeah, I think a fine line has to be, if you're doing this and if it works and if nothing's wrong, a fine line has to be drawn and everybody's got to follow it and not step out of that line one time or it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm all for what they're doing. If all of them are happy and they're all secure and content with the way things are going, I'm all for that. 100%.
Yeah.
But her loyalty has to be to Pierre. So if anything in this changes, this dynamic that makes Pierre uncomfortable or, she has to put Pierre ahead of Jeff. That is who she's with.
Does she do that, Pierre?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When's the wedding? When's the wedding?
In her life for anybody.
When's the wedding? Are we invited?
Something really messed up.
What?
I didn't tell you this part, but I was listening to Jason say that I should keep my relationship with Pierre separate. When we had some hiccups in the beginning because we were just trying to establish where we were. I said he had his side hose. He didn't know where I stood with, Jeff and the other people in my life. So we had to work all that out. And I went over to Jeff one time when we were having an issue and I'm a mess. Like I'm crying and Jeff sat there and listened to me and let me cry on his shoulder about this new boyfriend that, he's just like, well, I don't know what to tell you to do, but I'm here if you need me, kind of thing. But yeah, how messed up is that?
Well,
I'm crying to my ex-husband about my new boyfriend.
But then she came to me, and her and I talked about it. And she let me know, what she had done, and her and I worked everything out. It wasn't Jeff's place to try and work it out for her.
Well, I think it's
that.
normal in the beginning for relationships to be weird and boundaries be skewed and stuff like that. You develop that kind of stuff over time,
Yeah.
Well, so when's the wedding?
We're old. We don't have to do all that.
Yep.
I'm a 2-time loser, and he had his, and I think that as far as marriage, that's not necessarily a have to.
Is it out of the question?
Maybe somewhere, but it's like I said, we're old now.
Pierre sounds like a romantic, though. I'm sure that's something he wants to do.
Y'all got to be what?
No, actually, I am a romantic, and what we did is, I guess you would say, we consummated our relationship as promise rings to each other on one of our little mini vacations.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely beautiful. We both bawled our eyes out, and that's it. I mean, we know what we have, and we're very comfortable with what we have in our relationship. And
well. Okay, so I've changed my mind. Jason sounds like that he does believe that in minute situations that it can work. It's obvious you guys are working. I'm actually happy for you guys. It makes me happy to see that there's couples out there that's working. I think there's going to be people that can gain from this story.
Yeah.
And I'd like for you guys to keep in touch with us via email, and we'll give the listeners updates on you.
You know what's better than the wedding anyway is a reception. So whenever you have the party, let us know and we'll come.
Well, I was going to say we're invited, right? Like we're a part of your.
We'll come do the podcast from the reception.
Like we are a giant part of your relationship now, guys.
There you go.
All right, so we're invited. I'm not kidding. Are you kidding?
I'll go. Where do they live? Where do y'all live?
Well, you're in Oklahoma, aren't you, Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have family there. We have some people that we met. We like to go once a year to Branson.
Yeah.
And because that's kind of where we reestablished everything. So we kind of said that's our thing.
Right.
And so we met these people in Branson from Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like our thing. And my cousin, actually, they own most Oklahoma City. But so we want to do a vacation and stuff in Oklahoma and visit all these people that we either have met or know or whatever. So we'll be down that way sometime.
But where do y'all live?
With the
Y'all are up
everything
north?
up in the air.
Y'all live up north, right?
Say what?
Y'all live up north?
Yes, we're in Missouri, in the St. Louis area.
Oh, you are? Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking like north.
Well,
like
they should stop by the studio. They should stop by the studio when you're around here next time, and we'll sit down and do a in-studio interview with you guys and just get an update on you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck to you two. And we really appreciate. We feel like we've gotten to know you guys, and thank you for calling. Any last words for him, Jason?
No, I really appreciate both of you. Pierre, I appreciate you coming on. I really wish that Jeff would have come on too, but it is what it is.
Win some, you lose some.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Go ahead.
One last thing, Jason.
Go ahead.
I think if you did a survey, you'd be surprised how many people would be, how many more people than you think would be more comfortable.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a TikTok survey.
There you go.
Okay, Pierre.
And I think the key is that the person has to be okay with themselves.
Yep.
And I think that's a lot in the world today. There's not enough people like figuring out where they are with themselves so that, they're okay with themselves regardless of what happens with that other person. So that other person is just a bonus, and I think that's kind of where Pierre's at. He's okay with him. And so I'm a bonus. And if that bonus has to go away, then that's their choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, just like I did last week, Michelle, I think that you were very fortunate to land Jeff, and then land Pierre. I think they're both sound like great guys.
I am very fortunate. Yes. I don't take 1 minute for granted. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I know that I am very blessed in my life.
Not that you're not wonderful too, Michelle. I'm just saying.
Well, you know.
I think Michelle's
that
probably
can be debated from time to time.
I think Michelle's probably a handful, is what it sounds like. So
She is for sure, and I love the challenge. So I knew from our first date when she told me put everything on the table, her trauma, everything. I said to myself, so this is going to be challenging. You love challenges.
All right. Well, thank you again for taking the time to talk to us this morning, and we'll be in touch, or y'all be in touch with us.
Okay, gentlemen.
Have a good day, guys.
You too. Thanks.
bye.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
You know what shocked me the most? Like, I'm gonna have to really I'm gonna have to do some thinking after this.
Soul searching.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, Angela never does anything inappropriate. Like, I never have to speak up and be like, oh, that's inappropriate. So she never does. But I'm sitting here thinking, if she would, I'd be uncomfortable. But where Pierre said that if something ever happened between them, he would hope she would go. He thinks she would go back to him, and she would hope that she would. Because to me, it sounds like Jeff's probably still in love with her. But we would have to talk to him to even know that, right?
Yeah.
But Pierre's just totally comfortable with it.
And I get what Pierre is saying. You can't control people. You can't, I mean, if they want to go, they're going to go. If they, if they don't want to be with you, they're going to, if they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. I get all of that.
Yeah.
And maybe, a big part of me, for why, I think it's not a good idea. It's not even the whole, cheating thing, but to me, it's like when you're in a relationship with someone, I mean, most of your time should be focused on the person that you're in a relationship with. Now, if a girl, she needs some girl time, needs to go hang out with the girls, that's one thing. Go hang out with the girls. But if you are needing male companionship, if a woman is needing male companionship and she has a boyfriend, spend time with your boyfriend. Why do you need to spend time with some other guy? Any guy, whether it's an ex or... Yeah. I just don't understand. I mean, because I'm not... I've got the really good friend, a female friend. I've talked about her before. There's been times that neither one of us were locked down, and we'd go to the bar together. Nothing ever happened between us, ever. We were just friends. But soon as I'm in a relationship or she's in a relationship, we don't hang out together alone. There's no chance anything's going to happen between us at all. But we both know our place, that we're just not going to hang out alone together because I don't want to make her boyfriend uncomfortable, or I'm not going to disrespect my girlfriend by, hanging out with this other chick. I'm going to spend time with my girlfriend,
Well, here's the deal. Every different couple has different boundaries, and that's okay. There's not like this guideline book of what boundaries every couple should have. Michelle and Pierre's boundaries are a little different,
right?
And everybody involved is 100% okay with it. So who the hell are we to tell him that's not okay? Because Pierre's fine. Right. You can tell he's fine. Right. You see what I'm saying? But if you're not okay with it, if you're not okay with something, you've got to ask yourself why you're not. If it's coming from a place of toxicity, or if it's coming from a place of insecurity and your insecurity is unfounded, then maybe it is something you need to look into. Maybe it is something I need to look into. I'm sitting here thinking that maybe, because I know for a fact my wife wouldn't cheat on me or do anything disrespectful to me. She's wonderful. I don't deserve her. But I'm sitting here thinking, what would I do if she came home tomorrow and was like, oh, I met this guy and he's really nice and he's a really good friend to me. That's going to throw up a red flag to me instantly.
But probably not about her. It's what's this guy's intentions?
Yeah, I would have a problem with it, but is that a problem within me? Because listening to Pierre's just fine with her. And if I really do know my wife's not going to do anything, then why should I have a problem with that? Well,
we've both said on a previous episode that, if you are friends with somebody from your childhood, and that comes along with you and, you get married, well, that's my friend from grade school or middle school. That's one thing. But as two adult. Well, Marie, whenever we had Patricia Marie on, that came up.
Yes,
and it's totally different if you're adults and all of a sudden you get this friend of the opposite sex. You know, all three of us were like, no, bullshit, you ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But based on what you're saying right now, well, if you trust your spouse and, you know, you're secure with yourself, then it's okay.
Here's what I'm saying, because I'm going to say this as bluntly as I can. I still would not be okay with it. I still stand firm that I would not be okay with the new friend. But the question I'm asking is,
why?
Is that a problem? Is it wrong of me to have a problem with that? I know she never would. We're doing a what if. If she came home tomorrow with a new guy friend that she met at work or wherever she met him, I would not be okay with it. Is that a problem within me or that situation? We've got to answer that. I don't know the answer to that now. From talking to Pierre, I don't know if I need to mature a little bit more or if I'm valid. I don't know the answer to that.
Let's reflect on this. Let's take a week to reflect on this because
because I think we need some time to process it. Really, we really do, because that's got me thinking that like maybe there's something wrong with me. You know, that maybe I need to change or something. Are you kind of thinking the same way?
No, I'm not. I still don't think that there's a problem with the way that I think, but I want to reflect on that and make sure that I'm not. I mean, I really want to
me too.
Examine it and, you know, do some soul searching. And because right now I feel like, no, if I'm with a woman and she comes home and says, hey, met this new guy, he's great, gonna be my friend, and we're hanging out, and she's talking on the phone and texting with him all the time, that's like, to me, in my mind, whether she's going to go sleep with the guy, in my mind, it's almost like, well, God dang, you're having an emotional affair right in front of me, because you're texting this new guy, you're talking to this new guy, you're hanging out with this new guy. Maybe you're not going to sleep with him, but why are you spending so much time talking to this new? Am I not enough for you? I'm a man. I'm right here. Why do you need to talk to this new guy?
Let's think about it and we'll talk next week, because I've got some thinking I got to do on it, because right now I'm from hearing Pierre, he just sounds mature and it sounds like he's doing the right thing. Like he's onto something, you know?
Yeah.
He's onto something at least, you know, because dude, if your wife comes home with a new friend, she could have just not told you about it and had sex with him if she wanted to, you know? She trusts you enough. So I don't know, man. I got to think about it. This is stressing me out.
Well, let's also, you know, because other people may be doing some soul searching this week before we come back to this.
Yeah.
But I want you to also, while you're soul searching this week, if, regardless what your sex, if you're a male or female, I want you to ask yourself if you're okay, if you think, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. You know, would your spouse or your significant other, would they be okay with you if you came home and had a new friend of the opposite sex that you were texting or, you know, calling on the phone or hanging out with, going to lunch, dinner with?
What I want everyone to do that's listening to this right now, what I want everyone that's listening to this part, I want you to email us at thestraight.shootershow@gmail.com. And I want you to give us your opinion on that. And we're going to read all the emails on next week's podcast. And we're going to get the different opinions. And we're going to read them all. And then we're going to rediscuss this next week. Sound good?
I love that.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
So take us out, Jason.
So I'm gonna maintain what I've always said right now. I will do some soul searching. I'll look forward to the emails. But I'm going to maintain that I believe that it's a minute percentage of people that are going to be okay with their significant other being friends, not friendly or cordial or whatever, but to be like friends, hanging out friends, talking on the phone friends, texting friends, daily contact friends. I think it's a small percentage still that are going to be okay with that. Is there something wrong with me for feeling that way? I'm going to think about it this week. Zach's going to think about it this week. So you may not always agree with everything that I say, but one thing's for sure, always going to shoot you straight.
You have been listening to The Straight Shooter Show. Come back every Wednesday for new episodes.